What's up, y'all? It's DP, man. Kingpin Chronicles. Kingpin Chronicles is back. Another one. And, man, I want to know what y'all think. So I'm going to need y'all to interact with this video and comment and let me know where y'all stand on this. And we'll get a little bit of understanding on this. And y'all can see from the way the video titled. I'm just asking, are these podcasts up here snitching on what's going on in the streets, right? That's a real touchy topic, right? Because in my personal opinion, I feel that there's nothing wrong with. Hold on, let me see if I can switch the screen up to get that glare out my face. Yeah, I don't want that glare in my face, but I think it's a difference between reacting or reporting the news or what's going on out here and snitching through a podcast, right? A reaction would be just reporting the news, basically the stuff that we can see on the news and in the media, right? And that stuff like that. And sometimes the news and the media go a little bit too far, in my opinion, with the way that they're reporting these events that go on in the streets, right? And my reason for saying that I'm of the opinion that some of these podcasts and these podcasters or influencers, whatever they call themselves, I think they're going entirely too far with the content that they push. If you're pushing content that's discussing the facts or the evidence and open cases or cases that where people ain't even been arrested yet, and this stuff is ongoing legal matters, then I consider that to be dry snitching, just snitching. You know, snitching is snitching. And when I say snitching, I mean you giving law enforcement information, right? Evidence, right? And the facts of criminal cases, right? That you know are being investigated. So if you sharing this stuff on social media, right? Law enforcement, we know, monitors these things, right? So there's no way that it can't be considered if I knew information about it. I'm just Joe Blow. Joe Blow just hit a lick over here for $3.52, right? Joe Blow hit the lick for $3.52. He robbed dude with a butter knife, right? Now, I'm on social media and I'm laughing about it, making a joke about it. Man, that nigga Joe Schmo just robbed old Bob right over here across the street from my office at the gas station with a butter knife. Took his whole $3.52, man. Told him, man, get up or he gonna get poked, right? If I do that, that's snitching. That's snitching. And then what they're gonna do is they're gonna use my video as evidence. Right? They're gonna come to me and say, look, you on the internet saying you witnessed this. Right? We got it on camera, right? But that ain't no good until we get somebody to make it stand up by testifying. So that's why the feds go to these podcasters and yeah, we need them videos. We need, yeah, you said this happened. We need that. That's part of our investigation. If you don't give it to us, we're gonna subpoena you. Right? And now that subpoena say, if you don't get it to us, we're gonna lock you up. So what you think them podcasters gonna do? Come on, man. And then let me share something else with y'all. Let me see. Oh boy, we got it. All right, hold on. All right. There we go. Now, jury tampering. And I don't understand why I don't see none of these cases that get put in the media, right? Nobody comes with this angle and they fight. Jury tampering, right? I think that is jury tampering for a podcaster to get somewhere that they can possibly reach millions of people and discuss the facts and evidence and give their opinions, right, on these alleged facts and alleged evidence in people criminal cases. What is jury tampering? Jury tampering is the act of improperly attempting to influence a jury's decision-making process during a trial, either directly or indirectly, outside of the courtroom's legally permitted procedures. This can involve providing jurors with information, offering bribes, making threats, or intimidating them to sway their vote. The goal is to influence the jury's verdict, ultimately undermining the fairness of the trial, right? Elaboration. Elaboration means I'm going to go into this and make this where you can understand it. I'm going to go into it a little bit better and explain it, right? So you can understand it. Unlawful influence, right? Jury tampering is considered a criminal offense because it disrupts the integrity of the legal process by attempting to manipulate the jury's decision making, which is supposed to be based solely on evidence presented in court, right? Now, the examples right there, you can read them while I talk. I leave them up for a few minutes, but that's enough because these podcasts, some of these podcasts are very, very big. And if they big nationally, they most definitely are big locally. That means that they are affecting the jury pool. They are giving an opinion, right, based on the alleged evidence, right, and they convicting or finding these people guilty in the media. I'm gonna give you an example of it. Young Thug case in that RICO trial that they had. They was found not guilty solely because of jury tampering in the media. There's no way that those jurors did not see what was going on in the media with that case, and it most definitely affected the outcome of the trial. They was found not guilty. Irregardless of the evidence, irregardless of the fact that some of these people had already, pled out to the crimes that was added to the RICO as uh 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 I'm lost for words, but the parts of the RICO that make it into a RICO, right? They had a lot of those people had already pled out to them crimes and was found not guilty, right? Those two dudes, basically. So what I'm saying is jury tampering is, in my opinion, and y'all should be done. I had enough of that, so I'm gonna take this down. Right? Jury tampering is, in my opinion, Polk County, Florida, Sheriff Grady Judd getting on the news, discussing the facts and the evidence of a criminal case that is going to go in front of a jury. It's supposed to be handled in the court, right? So now, if Grady Judd is able to get on the news, right, and show all of the drugs and the guns or whatever the crime may involve, right, and paint a picture for potential jurors, is that not jury tampering? It's the same thing. It's snitching in the media to the jury. It's convicting people in the media or finding people not guilty in the media, however it go. But the media in some countries, China, China, man, ain't no politics, ain't no none of that allowed to be in the media. The news and the certain TV shows that they're allowed to come on TV, that's what people can watch in the media. Their media is a little bit more controlled than our media. They done got wild over here, and these podcasts have gone too far. Man, this big U rolling six, this indictment, let us know that podcasts have gone too far with wanting to interview people that's involved in crime, right? And then the people that's involved in the crime silly enough to get on there and confess about it and tell everything about the crimes in hopes of creating an image, right, and a media presence to where that people gonna view their content because they on there confessing to crimes and telling on people for crimes that they might have been involved in or got knowledge about. It's gone too far. A lot of these podcasters, whether y'all see it that way or not, I'm entitled to my own opinion. Yes, I think they're snitching. Yes, I think when the government and law enforcement come to them and they want information about these people that they're arresting and indicting, yes, they cooperate with the government. No, there's not going to be no paperwork because they're not indicted co-conspirators, right? They just cooperate and give the people whatever evidence they ask for that they're going to use against these dudes, right? You see it in the paperwork of that particular indictment where all they're using is podcast conversations as evidence, as confessions. And it's a problem. It's a problem because you link it up with a couple phone calls and then one or two people who actually committed crimes in the RICO confessing and pleading out. Now everybody's stuck. All because of some podcasts getting out here sharing information. Look at Lil Durk. Time after time after time, it's going to continue to happen. And these dudes ain't even stopped. They see what they done, and man, they doubling down on it. And then you got people so thirsty to get views and a couple dollars from YouTube, right? That they all doubling down on it, and they convicting these dudes on YouTube, right? They tempering the chances of them receiving a fair trial because there's no way that all of the local podcasts, the news, and everything in the media that people sit and spend their time watching, right, are convicting these dudes before they even get to go to trial and argue against the evidence. So 9 times out of 10 is gonna be a conviction in that Big U RICO. Big U probably, and I hate to say it, man, it ain't looking good for him. It ain't looking good for him. Them dudes that love to run their mouth, when them people get up there and play them videos of them co-signing all these crimes and criminal activity, it's over. It's over. When they tell them, look, you were a convicted felon, you've been to jail, you've been to prison, so that puts you in this guideline range, you're looking at 20 years to life, man, they're going to cooperate. They're going to tell them people about whoever the one they want to put away is. Because it's somebody they want to put away, and they're using the rest of these people to put them away. So, man, it ain't looking good. I'm out of here. I just want to talk about these podcasts out here, snitching, dry snitching, self-snitching, whatever you want to call it. It's snitching. Yes, it is. And I'm of the opinion that it is jury tampering and that nobody involved in the case that get indicted or picked up based on these podcasts and the things that people are saying on these podcasts and in the media, they do not stand a chance because now those people are going to have to come to the courtroom. Them dudes going to have to get on the stand, man, because their words is what's being used. So now the only way to even try to back that down is to get on the stand and say, man, I ain't mean that. We was lying. It was just for content. No, y'all you told on yourselves. And by telling on yourselves, trying to tell on somebody else, you got yourself indicted. Snitching is a confession. So when you tell, you going to jail too. You ain't a little bit of time, but you locked yourself in. That's it, man. I'm sick of these clowns, man. And that's why we here. We going to change this thing. Like, share, subscribe, DP, Kingpin Chronicles. The game ain't what it seems, y'all. Here go the truth. I'm going to give it to you every time. I'm out.